Hey, what's up and happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton. I'm going to cover the rookie division front nine holes of the opening round. You can see here shot a minus 16, so I feel good about that. I'm really excited to show the replays to everybody here because I think you can really have just a smashing front nine. And I even, only picked up the birdie here on hole number 9, as you see. So, again, happy Thanksgiving. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that you like the content. I hope you like it enough to hit that subscribe button. And then secondly, I hope everybody who's watching hits that thumbs up button and gives the video a like. Okay, let's go ahead and hop into hole number 1. Hole number 1 is pretty straightforward, but this time we are getting headwind. We are going to go ahead and use 4.5 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. And this is essentially going to be a landing spot drive. We are not pulling rings. We are not pulling elevation. We are looking for a particular spot on the fairway to put our target at, and then we just shoot. For me, the place that I'm putting the target at and that I recommend is the green inner ring right here against the right side of the rough, which you see. And then all we do is take our shot. We go with some OP, take a notice of the curl. Always look at my curl. The left-hand side of my ball is basically touching the inner yellow wall target. So some people ask, what do I mean by that? This is what I mean. So if you take a look right here, right? The left side of my ball is touching right up against the inner side of that target. So that's how I reference my shots when it comes to overpower and curl. And I thought I'd just make that easy for everybody to see. Here we hit a perfect ball. You should be able to get away with a minor great right and a great left. But you see we're going over the rough, and we're just trying to drive this ball basically as far up the fairway as we can here and trying to get rightmost possible to get to the fringe fairway green area. Shot number 2 is very straightforward. You just take your wedge of your choice. You go with the full topspin shot. We have a little bit of wind blowing from left to right, which is why you see me put my ball guideline here right on the left-hand side of the pin. You don't really need to adjust this shot for elevation. All we do is go with the full topspin approach, just a tad offset, and you can see that we're dead center of pin on hole number 1. Hole number 2, I did pick up the hole-in-one on both of my accounts, so the shot is playing very consistently. You'll take a look at the graphic here. We're going to go 5 bars of backspin combined with 1 bar of side spin to the right, and then we're going to play this one 30% at mid. And just notice the landing spot after you apply your spin. So again, after you set your spins, you're going to find this particular spot to land on. Which is going to be right here. So notice that the ball guideline is set left-hand side of the hole. My ball guideline is not in the cup at all. It is just touching the edge of the cup there on the left-hand side. That's what I'm looking for. I hit this on both accounts. I'll show you both replays. Obviously here, very lucky to get 2.2 wind, which is the absolute lowest that you can get with the Navigator in the rookie division. What I like about this shot is I had 2 different wind strengths and 2 different wind angles, and the ball did go into the hole both times for the hole-in-one. So you see that one there. This one is a lot higher wind, so we're almost double the wind strength and even a different wind angle when I go to pull my rings. But I'm going with the exact same setup as you see. This time you see the different wind angle as we're really pointing at both of those red trees. But still, good news is it was same result for me. So I think hole number 2 is playing pretty consistent. And it's definitely a more difficult hole-in-one to pick up, so it's nice when you get it on both of your accounts, for sure. All right, that'll take us to hole number 3. Hole number 3 here, we're going to play this one 0% at max. We are going to go with 6 top and 2 bars of side spin to the right. If you have 6 top, that's great. Extra mile level 9 players, just keep yourself at 6 top. You don't need any more of that. Extra mile 7 and below. Now, you can do the same thing. You can go with your full topspin, okay? If you'd like to try to get the same yards as me, you can try to go with a little bit more overpower, or we'll talk you through shot number 2 on what's probably going to happen if you're a lower level extra mile player. Now you see here with my extra mile level 8, I hardly go with any OP, but I do go with an entire ball of curl outside of the adjustment zone. You just want to be careful with the OP because you don't want to accidentally clip the rough. Now, if you get this type of distance on your drive, you're going to be playing shot number 2 with your short iron. So keep in mind that if you don't have a good level thorn, you might want to bring your best topspin short iron to this hole, okay? If you don't get that type of distance on the drive, I want you to make sure that you bring your Goliath, because you're either going to take shot number 2 with your thorn or your Goliath. If you're playing it with your thorn, you're going to play it minus 10% at max. If you're playing it with your Goliath, you're going to play at the same elevation, minus 10%, but you're going to have to check the own distance of your club and figure out if you're at minimum, medium, or maximum distance of your club. But here you can see I'm at absolute max of my thorn. I'm already at the +5 mark. I put 4 bars of topspin on. The topspin, I just want to make sure that the ball guideline is going through the hole because we do get a little bit of headwind here. So through the hole, and you can see that I put my green inner ring right there at the top of the rough line. I make my pull, hit perfect. You see there, we hit the pin and we drop in for the albatross. So far, we've dropped the first 3 holes off to a very great start. That'll take us to hole number 4. Hole number 4, this one is played 45% at max. Same thing, you're going to apply your spins first. With the backbone, we're using 5 bars of backspin, and then we're looking for our landing spot. I have 2 reference points when it comes to the landing spot on this hole. Here you get a good side view. You can take a look at the arc, okay, the arc of the ball guide line, and then notice the first bounce. Notice that my first bounce is in the top left-hand corner of that light green square. And then you can also take a look at where my final bounce is in that dark green square right-hand side of the cup. It's exactly what I was looking for. Found it very quickly based off my shots in practice. And this brings me to my next point for people that follow me on tournaments. I need to explain something when it comes to my ring pulls because I get this question all too often. I want you to notice here, and everybody is different, so it's best for you if you don't count my rings, okay? Because a lot of people, they use the golf ball on the take shot button to pull their rings. So if that was the case, you would see me pulling here, let's say 2.8 rings. I am not using the golf ball on this shot. I am using the flat part of the take shot button. So I am pulling this shot exactly 3 rings, okay? But I'm not 100% consistent when I use the flat part. Sometimes I do use the golf ball. So you don't really need to pay attention to that absolute minute detail because depending on my wind angle is what I choose to use. If you take a look at my rough bump here for the albatross drop on this hole, right, you're going to notice here that I do use the golf ball to pull my rings. Okay? Here, I'm not using the flat part of the tight shot button. It's pretty obvious that I'm using the golf ball because that's where I pull to. So I get a lot of people in, well, not a lot of people. I get a couple people in comments here and there that say, hey, you said you pulled this many rings, but you didn't. And it typically, most of the time, comes down to they're not looking at the right reference point from where I pulled my rings. Every once in a while, I make a mistake and I misspeak, of course. But I just want to point that out, that I don't always use the same reference point. So if you're following that closely along, that's great. But just keep that in mind and really pay attention then to where you see me pull to, okay? All right, this is going to go to hole number 5. This one is killing my opponents. I do believe both my opponents birdied this hole. So 3 bars of side spin to the left combined with 2 bars of top spin. This is a no moving target shot. So basically, as soon as the game loads, all you have to do is set your spins, 2 top, 3 right, And then the only time you move your target is when you go to make your wind adjustment for the rings. It's best if you zoom out, way out up here so that you can pull your rings. See, this time I am pulling to the golf ball again. And then I put enough curl on it until the left-hand side of my ball fully covers up that blue adjustment window. Distance does not matter on this drive. You know, that 2 bars of topspin is plenty. The most important thing is that we get as far left-hand side as possible on the fairway. Here I played shot number 2, 10% at max. It just worked out that, again, I didn't have to move my target at all on this shot until I go to pull my rings. Now, unfortunately, I hit a great ball to the right, but you can see there my opponent is in the rough here. And then my other one went into the sand because they hit a bad, great shot to the right, but they also did not get on the left-hand side of the fairway. They were very, very far on the right-hand side, so they had to go with a full OP shot. If that's the case for you, let's say you mess up your drive, okay, and you're at full top spin with your sniper, and you might barely roll out of the rough onto the fairway. Don't take that shot. There's no reason to do something silly like that and go full overpower and have to hit perfect, because it's probably not going to happen. What's better that you do is that you lay up as far on the top side of the second fairway as possible, and then just take your wedge shot to pin. The wedge shot to pin is going to play 20% at distance of your club. So that's the best way to do it. That happened to me on one of my accounts. I hit a great shot to the right, really shanked the drive, and it was going to be too risky for me to try to go max OP. So I just laid up and played shot number 2, 20% elevation at the true distance of my end-bringer, and it was dead center for the eagle. All right. Hole number 6 gives us just an excellent chance for an eagle. Now, I'm only showing one way to play it today, which is going to be the rough bump. Keep in mind, if you don't want to play the rough bump, you can always lay up here on the right-hand side of the fairway, okay? And then you'll take shot number 2 over to the pin. It's not a consistent way to eagle the hole, though. This is the best way to pick up the eagle, and very, very, very few opponents ever pick up the eagle on this hole. Pretty straightforward as far as the drive goes. Shot number 2, I want you to remember to go ahead and bring your Goliath. That's all we're trying to do there on the drive. Now, shot number 2, we're going to play this one minus 20% at mid. So the way this ball is rolling off the rough is playing significantly uphill. And then I want you to try to add a little bit more of right side spin. I think I'm going to be wrong on that. I think I mistyped, so give me 1 second here. It's going to be left side spin. Yeah, I mistyped. Okay, so see, that's where I do make a mistake. 2 bars of top spin combined with a little bit of left side spin, but we do need more side spin to the left than this. We do need more side spin to the left. But at least I caught that mistake. You're going to see here that the speed is pretty good overall. We zoom into the cup, but we just miss it to the right-hand side, which is why we need to add a little bit more side spin to the left, okay? That'll take us to hole number 7. This one is not my best one. You know, I'm a little bit lost here on picking up the hole-in-one on this wind angle. You know, I am going with 3 bars of backspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right. And, you know, you'll notice here that when you start to push your target to the right-hand side, like over here to the rough, at least your ball guideline becomes more consistent. It kind of evens out. And then you can kind of just take a look at the landing spots here. I think at the end of the day, what we really need to do, instead of just continuing to bump up the elevation and bump up the elevation, which is fine, because we continue to miss this shot to the left. So what you can do then is you can add more elevation to make yourself pull more rings to the right, because we need to move more to the right. Or you can try to offset a little bit more Or you could try to just play with the Quasar and just add like half a bar more side spin to the right. So you could play with 1.5 side spin to the right, but then of course if you play the Quasar, it's only a wind resistance 1 ball. We always try to use the wind resistance 2 ball on par 3s and rookie, and then you're going to get higher wind, and then you're basically left trying to dial the shot in again. Hole number 7, not a fan of in rookie. Plays a little bit easier in pro, but we've dropped a ton of shots up to this point. I love hole number 8. Hole number 8, you almost never, ever see anybody pick up an eagle on it. I did hit the eagle on both of my accounts. I hope that we get that in the final round. Here we're going to go 4.5 bars of top spin, 3 bars of side spin to the right. This is again just a no moving target shot until you go to adjust your rings. This is all pretty simple. You can see here the curl again with a little bit of overpower. Hit a perfect ball, and we shoot this one down the fairway very nicely. Remember to bring your Guardian to this hole. So you just really have to pay attention a lot in this tournament because we do multiple bag changes. We use a lot of different clubs. Shot number 2 with the Guardian is max backspin 0% at mid. And then I'm going to tell you how I ended up dialing this one in. Okay. What I am doing here is I am looking at the hole, okay? And I'm trying to put the cup almost in the center of my blue ring, but I am trying to favor the right-hand side. So notice the cup is close to my orange ring, but it's fully in the blue ring. So, but favoring the right-hand side of the blue ring. That's exactly what I was looking for because on my practice shot, I missed it just a smidge to the left-hand side. And I started with my cup in the dead center of the blue ring. So I just moved it over a little bit to the right. And with the perfect ball, I mean, I was 2 for 2 on this hole. So we drop it in for the eagle. You know, that's a huge shot if you hit it. Because that's going to give you pretty much a stroke ahead of everybody else. And then hole number 9. Now, this is the final hole, everybody. I want to say thanks for watching the video. Happy Thanksgiving again. Keep in mind that if you want the text guides for free, this is the last tournament. Adam and I are doing them for free. You can check them out over there at his channel. I am putting in my description the link to his channel and the link to the Patreon if you would like to sign up for the free text guides for this tournament. Here is a no moving target, no adjustment shot. So what does that mean? That means all you have to do is just set your spins and shoot. It can't get any easier than that. 1 bar of backspin, 1 bar of side spin to the right. Normal shot. Do not overpower this shot. Just take it normal. I hope I've done a great job for you so far. I'm getting as much content out there as I can. If you would like to show me some thanks and appreciation for what I do, you can always check out the comments section below where I post a link to my PayPal. Anything that comes through is appreciated, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Here we're going to go with the big dog. We're going to go full top, 2 bars of side spin to the right. Again, you know, we don't need to adjust any elevation or anything. We're going to take our shot at max distance. For me, I'm just making sure that my ball guideline there is in that shadow of the tree. That's all that I'm looking for. And then I just reach back into full OP and I let one rip. The only thing that I'm disappointed about in my front 9, you know, if I had to say I'm disappointed, is my shot number 2 or my shot number 3 here to pin. I did pick up a birdie on both of my accounts, and that's only because on one account I just shanked that second shot and stuck it in the rough. So this account was the only attempt that I had at pin, okay? And so we need to learn from that. I played it 0% at mid. I think 1 bar of backspin is good. Headwind, so making sure that the ball guy line is going through the back of the hole. Hit a perfect ball. But as you'll see here, we come in just a little bit hot. and to the left-hand side. So we need to even that one out a little bit, maybe using just a tad more backspin, okay? And then making sure that we've got the ball guideline maybe offset inside the cup to the right-hand side just a smidge. Okay, that's it for the front 9. I will start working on the back 9 now. Let me know how you do in the comments. Thank you, everybody.